Man, shout out to the UGC Black Horseman here. You know, we got this upcoming bout with Teofimo Lopez. He's going to be defending his world title, WBO 140-pound world title versus Shakur Stevenson, who is coming up in weight. He's trying to do something that Bud Crawford did somewhat, in a sense, by going up and challenging the best in the higher weight class. We've seen Bud go up to 168. He skipped 2 weight classes, didn't get no tune-up, and went right to the big dog, fought Canelo and beat him. Shakur was at 135. He's not going up 2 weight classes, but he's going up 1 weight class to fight the best fighter there. You know, Teofimo is proven to be the best 140-pound champion, even though there's other champs that he hasn't fought yet. But based on who he beat, you know, Josh Taylor, and then defending it, he's the best at 140. Pretty clear. But Shakur has this opportunity to dethrone Teofimo. But my main point of doing this video is to talk about how... What's up, Charles? Shout out to my dog Charles in the chat. Yeah, shout out to the one sketching the playback. My main reason for doing this is to speak on how Bud Crawford will come out of retirement for this one particular fight, but the circumstances got to be Teofimo has to beat Shakur Stevenson. That is the only way I can see Bud Crawford being enticed to come out of retirement. You know, and it makes me think about one particular scenario in the sport at one particular time where there was an up-and-coming fighter. He had won a few weight classes, pretty popular, and was crowned to be the next best thing. And that was Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner thought he was the shit. Then he went up in weight and he fought Marcos Maidana. Well, he fought Paulie Malignaggi, took the belt, WBA title. Then he had to defend his belt versus Marcos Maidana. And Marcos Maidana embarrassed Adrian Broner, humbled Adrian Broner, and as a result of Adrian Broner getting his ass whooped the way he did, it made Big Bro Floyd Mayweather have to step in to defend Little Bro's honor. Y'all remember that? Adrian Broner got his ass whooped. Floyd said, oh, hell no, you know, I'm going to show Little Bro how to do it. Show Little Bro how you supposed to box somebody like Marcos Maidana. And it ended up being one of the toughest fights of Floyd's career. So tough to the point he had to rematch this man, Marcos Maidana. And he ultimately won both fights, but it was one of them situations where we've seen a lot of the Hispanic and Black American rivalries where when a Hispanic fighter is fighting one of the best Black American fighters, there's a little bit more of a sinisterness to it. So like the Hispanic fighter really has a edge, you know. And a lot of times, you know, like say for instance, you know, like in Adrian Broner's case, he in there playing. He thinks shit is, you know, whatever. This ain't nothing, you know. Don't really have no hate towards Maidana. Don't really, you know what I mean? Don't really have nothing negative really to draw from other than the fact that he believe in his talent and he gonna showcase his talent, his skills. But somebody like Marcos Maidana is like, oh hell no, I'm about to shut this black fool up. You know, you want to be dancing in front of my face, showboating in the weigh-ins and being flashy? No, I got a problem with all that. No, I don't speak English, but I speak beat your ass. And that's exactly what Maidana did. He beat Brown his ass. And, you know, it made Floyd feel some type of way. And I feel like it would be no different in a sense if Shakur Stevenson, who is, like I said, going up to face T.O., it'll be interesting if T.O. fuck around and whoop Shakur, because Bud already don't like T.O. We already seen Bud, you know, pull up on T.O. and told him, you know what I'm saying? Do we got a problem, basically? Almost had him in a low-key chokehold. And T.O. been talking. He been barking like he really won't smoke with Bud. You know? And my thing with T.O. is just like, you've been doing all of this barking and you ain't really been showing me that you really wanted that action, because you avoided Devin Haney. So when Devin Haney was in your weight class for two weight classes and was barking down your, you know, knocking on your door, you wanted no smoke. So it's like, you're going to settle for the guy who was also undefeated, but he's smaller. You're going to settle for Shakur Stevenson work, even though you was barking up the tree of Bud and Boots, but you were way out of your league. You know, Boots is whatever, you know, but Bud Crawford, you was out of your league with that. But you getting your shot at one of these dudes that you've been barking on, you know, and saying that you better than. And I've been wanting to see T.O. with all this stuff he's been having to say about black fighters and stuff. I want to see you fight one. So now this is a show and prove opportunity. And it's a pivotal move for T.O. because if you beat Shakur, you're going to get all the action you want, man. You're going to get all the attention you want. And the mega fight and the mega payday, I feel you're going to get it. You will persuade Bud Crawford to make a way. I don't know what weight class, you know, but T.O. acted like he wanted that action before, you know. So if T.O. is really serious, if he beats Shakur Stevenson, I think he'll get the Bud Crawford fight. You know, now I know that the pride is of Shakur. He'll probably want to get some get back if he lose the fight. But I guarantee you, Bud's gonna feel some type of way if he see his little bro get his ass kicked. You know what I mean? And especially with all the shit that T.O. been talking, making it a real racial thing, shit. You gonna get everything you asking for. You know? What's up, John? He says T.O. definitely capable of beating Shakur. A real test for both of them. Bud won't give T.O. the time. Easy work for Bud. I think it's easy work for Bud, but I still think that, like, one thing I noticed about Bud, when it's a real problem, them the fights he really want. When he has some confrontation with the dude, them the fights he really want. Them the fights that he be really rising up to the occasion for. He thrive off beefs. Errol Spence, Jose Benavidez Jr., Hank Lundy. Who else, man? You know, people telling, you know, Bud that, oh, man, you too small. Canelo gonna walk on you. Canelo was talking about he easy money. Oh, I'm easy money? All right. You know, Bud be looking for an edge, but there ain't nobody really out there to give him nothing. Except for this motherfucker T.O., especially if he beat Shakur. And if he's still talking shit, say he beat Shakur and talk about, yeah, I want Bud, because you know he gonna call out Bud Crawford. You know good and well if if T.O. beats Shakur, he's gonna call out Bud and say, "Yeah, Bud, look what I just did to your little bro." You know, he gonna probably bring up that monkey shit and all that. He gonna do whatever he gotta do to try to make it like, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta remember who T.O. was aligning himself with at one particular time, you know, and probably still at this point, you know, he's feeling some type of way about Canelo getting his ass whooped. Let's be real. He joined Canelo's camp. So he's hurt by that. So this is about some get back. This is about get back. Y'all remember when Canelo was at the top of his game, undisputed at 168? You remember how T.O. tried to be buddy, crash the press conference, bring all his belts, and stand side by side with pound for pound Canelo. He was real happy when Canelo was on top. But soon as Bud start wrecking shit and taking the clout away, now you want to start, hey, let's make boxing great again. Now you got all these racial slurs and shit. Now you got a problem with all these black boxers. You got to pay attention how this dude move. So he been feeling some type of way. Him accepting the Shakur fight, this is bigger than just, oh, I want to prove that I'm the best. This is way deeper than that. He's trying to win for the Hispanic community. He's trying to win for Canelo camp, Reynoso and them. This is way in a whole different, you know what I'm saying? He's got a whole different chip on his shoulder. You know? But I'll tell you this. Shakur is a motherfucker, man. Shakur ain't no joke. Shakur don't play boxing. Unlike most people. So one thing that I can say is clearly different from him and like Adrian Broner is Shakur takes the shit serious. And he ain't out here partying and being distracted. He's on point. So if he lose, he's just gonna lose because it ain't gonna be no excuse about clubbing and partying and drinking. No. T.O. will get full credit because this is a very, very focused, disciplined Shakur Stevenson right here. You know? So I'm just, you know, I'm impressed that finally T.O. got the cojones to really fight somebody. So if he is victorious, mark my words, man. If T.O.'s victorious, mark my words, he's going to call out Bud Crawford. And Bud might fuck around and take the fight, man. Yup. What up, Modern King? Yeah, man. So, you know, we'll see what happens in this fight. It's a very, very great card coming up. You know, I'm sure Bud gonna probably be in attendance, supporting this young bro. Yeah, little bro got to take care of business, though. And if he take care of business, hey, that's just the beginning because 140 is pretty deep. It's pretty stacked. You know, 140 is pretty stacked. Hopefully, he's keeping the same energy with the rest of the champions, man. At 140, if he's successful, because you're gonna be the you know, all roads are gonna lead to you, man. You about to pick up. If you beat T.O., you're gonna pick up that Rain magazine, that WBO, and that ring belt is sexy, man. So I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be trying to get in there and take it from Shakur, especially with him being a little guy coming up in weight. So yeah, man. 2026 moment of truth for T.O. We about to really see if you really about that life, man. If you're really as good as you say you are. You know, all the attention you've been wanting, you about to get it now. So we're gonna see what you do with it. So Hopefully you don't go out like your boy Canelo, allowing the little guy to come up to your shit, take your shit, and you walk away with nothing. You know, just like your boy, you could be in the same situation. Go from the top dog to not having shit. You know, contender promotions, man. So you can go from champ to contender in one fight. So yeah, man. Castillo got a lot more to lose. His reputation, clout, his belts, his ego status. He already kind of acts suicidal. He always is obsessed with death and shit. Talking about the industry, want him dead, boxing industry. Okay, well, win the fight, man. Make sure you win, man. Because I think if he don't, he gonna be back talking all that he's talking all this make boxing great again, but he keep talking about dying and shit. So the dude got to make up his mind. Do you want to be here for boxing, or you want people to just do a eulogy or some shit? So anyway, man, best of luck to Tio, man. Your reputation, man, boy. With all the shit that you done up to this point, you have to win this fight, man. You have to win this fight, man. So, back up everything you done said. You done said that you much better, and you gonna do all of this to Shakur Stevenson. You gonna press him, walk him. Okay. Best of luck. But if you lose, you know you getting your motherfucking ass flamed. It'll be fuck going back to the drawing board, man. Go back to the house. Get some soup, thermometer, and a blanket, homie. Because it's going to be a long motherfucking year for you if you get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's really all I got for this one, man. I'm the Black Horseman. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. My dog, Modern King. My dog, Charles. John Parham pulled up. Alonzo pulled up. Hopefully y'all hit the like button. Josh pulled up. Hopefully I ain't missed nobody. And shout out to the playback gang, man. We on to the next.